Welcome to So You Think You Can Write, where we give serious writing critique without taking ourselves too seriously. My name is Lindsay, and with me here today is...
Janette, Rallison, Torsha Baker,
Booher. And, that's my part. And this episode is brought to you by Writers Clearinghouse. Visit writersch.com for more information. Move your writing career forward with help from Writers Clearinghouse.
All right, this month we're doing last page of the first chapter. Criteria is a little bit different for this. What we're really looking for is to see if, obviously, the voice is good and what we're still reading is interesting, but mostly whether this compels us to read the next chapter. Does it move us forward in the story? And today, this one was going to be read by Janette.
Okay. Untitled. Okay, and we don't know what genre this is either. Exhausted explanations and examples, an hour later, the room spun for both of them. As if losing your husband wasn't enough, you had to experience and witness things so hard and horrible. Eyes now opened, whipping at tears that fell down her flushed cheeks, Anna understood and wept for the cruelty.
I don't know who said that.
That's true. Well,
So,
and also I'm wondering, her flushed cheeks, I can't tell whether that's a point of view switch or not. Like, is she looking at somebody whose cheeks are flushed, or is she saying her own cheeks
yeah,
are flushed?
that whole line, I was just a little confused with, because there's no tagline there. Unless, is it Anna that's saying it?
Yeah, and it might be more clear in the, because this is the last page.
Yeah, we are jumping
but-
in. So.
Well, even if it's the
There's
last page, we need to know who's saying the
Yeah,
line.
that's true.
So,
Yeah, that's a little bit confusing.
okay.
Okay, sorry.
But
This-
I could take that away now.
The spirit in the room was strong. It matched the silence. She missed home, the rolling green hills, spaced out old shacks among the mansions, hiding away in the cellar during hard times, eating out of cans, listening to the radio and rejoicing when the safe words were spoken. A look up at the sky revealing the lavender rainbow assured all was secure, at least for a little while. The peace and relief she felt, the lack of responsibilities only acquired from the relocation.
I just still I'm finding a hard time grounding myself in who's feeling what and who's doing what, and I know maybe it's because we're thrown into it. And it says up here that, losing your husband wasn't enough, and yet all she's talking about is how she missed the location, so that confuses me about, okay, you don't miss your husband, what horrible things. So it just seems non sequitur, like it doesn't follow
The thought process is...
I would find this thought process odd in
Okay.
this scenario.
Okay.
So maybe that's intentional, but it's confusing me, so.
Okay. Lavendale, it came out in a moan. It wasn't horrible to me. I didn't know any different. I miss it, the way people could be people, also wonderful and different from each other. It was rough, but I learned to fight and survive. It was my normal. Could I help you arrange it? A visit, I mean? A new softness and sincerity in Anna's voice. You know you can never return for good, but maybe a visit might refresh your resolve and cure your homesickness. A raven curl brushed out of her dark eyes. Maybe a visit after all these years might give you some new perspective. Is it not possible that your grief has altered your memories and Lavendale is not as majestically diversified as you recall? Maybe you'll find the differences here are in favor, not fault. A shrug. The words held logic worthy of consideration. She motioned her friend to continue.
Okay, so it was Anna who spoke up here.
Yeah, so we have two people in the room. And yeah, I was wondering when you wrote she missed home, I wasn't sure if this was two women who she was referring to. So when you have two, when you have two people and they're both the same sex, you're gonna have to use their names a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Wait, so whose point of view are we in here? Is it Anna's or the other girl that we don't know her name?
I'm guessing that's more clear from the rest, but yeah, I didn't know
Okay.
either. Because, like here, a raven curl brushed out of her dark eyes.
Yeah, how does that happen?
Like-
Somebody had to brush the raven curl out of
Like
somebody's eyes.
Is that Anna or is that the
Right.
speakers or?
Yeah.
Okay, since you're talking on that one, one of the problems I had is there's some sentences that they're not complete. A raven curl brushed out her dark eyes. Okay, and I'm not as good with
Yeah. There's a lot
grammar,
of
but I mean, that's an
fragments.
incomplete sentence, and it happens a lot. A new softness and sincerity in Anna's voice. Well, what about it? I mean, there is a new one, so I know
Maybe a
it's
new
going for style, but for
Right.
me, it's confusing because it's not giving us the complete
Enough.
information that I think we need when we're reading
Like
this.
that one could be fixed with a new softness and sincerity crept into Anna's voice, or grew,
Yep.
or, you know, like a
Right.
verb in there.
Or even the whole paragraph up here, she missed home, the rolling green hills, spaced out old shacks among mansions, those are all incomplete sentences.
Right,
It
those
sounds a
Yeah.
little
chopped.
better there because of, we're trying to get these
Yeah.
snippets of memory.
Yeah, I
So-
thought those ones worked because
Yeah.
it was a list of
I-
the things she was missing.
I agree,
But-
that didn't stand out, but there's a few lines elsewhere, they're
Yeah.
not, they don't fit for me. They just brought me out of the experience
Mm-hmm.
because I'm still wondering what the rest of the sentence is supposed to, you know,
Convey, yeah.
convey.
I also noticed that, and I hope I'm reading this right, but for the way that I'm reading it, there's definite, we're head hopping here. Because we're saying right here that Anna understood and wept for the cruelty. Well, how do we know Anna understood unless we're in Anna's head? Unless she, you know,
Yeah.
so that's, and you could say, I believe Anna understood and wept,
Or
you know.
showing that she understood or something.
Yeah, so, and in fact, just weeping, if she's weeping, then I guess you're showing us that she is understanding and being empathetic towards what happened.
Instead of telling us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're guessing Anna's feelings, but without guessing, we're saying this is how Anna feels. And if we are not in Anna's head, then we need to not do that. We're not supposed to be.
Well,
So,
even the first sentence here, and I'm guessing, okay, now that I've read the whole thing, it makes a little bit more sense that it's emotion. And, you know, so why is it, but the room spun for both of them, that means we're in both of their heads.
yeah, so it's
So-
point of view
Yeah,
problem
so
there
that's
as well.
that's the narrator's point of view, not either of the characters. And, I mean, it's possible that this is omniscient
That's what I was
narrator.
wondering too.
But I always tell people, if this is your first book, if you're not published yet, do not do omniscient, because it is the hardest one to master and
Easiest to confuse.
yes, and most often your editor or your agent is not going to think, oh, this is omniscient. They're going to think this person doesn't understand third person and they're messing it up. So, yeah,
And go read Dune if you're gonna do that, so, anyway.
yeah,
'Cause he does a pretty good job.
yeah, there are people who do a really good job, but I bet Dune wasn't his first book. You know what I mean?
No, probably not.
Just,
And it was
just
written quite a long
it's
time
a-
ago. There's different standards and,
yeah, that's true
you know,
too.
rules,
Expectations, right.
expectations
That's a good
these
one.
days.
This is something we now want to hear your opinion in the comments. If Dune were submitted today,
Would it get published?
would it get published?
Yes.
Yes, yes, very sure. They tried Jane Austen, it didn't get published.
Yeah, well, but
Interesting,
here's
isn't
the, you know, here's the thing though. I mean, we talk a lot about the rules and grammar, but really the most important thing in whether you get published and whether people buy your book is your storytelling. How interesting is that story?
Right.
And Jane Austen tells a riveting, funny
Okay.
Yes,
So-
she does. I thought you
So
were going to say
why
Jane Austen for a
is,
moment. I was
why
gonna
in
slap
spite
her.
of the difference in language, is Jane Austen's story compelling? It's what's missing on this page, and then you can name it in one word, tension.
Attention.
There is no tension on this
No,
page.
and I'm not compelled
All
to turn
was
the page.
secure, at least for a little while. The peace and relief she
Yeah.
felt, etc. So I just go, close the book, go to sleep, never pick it up
Yeah,
again.
this kind of
No
made me
tension.
just seem
There's
like.
nothing pushing me to the next chapter either.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, there's gonna be more conversation.
Right, well, yeah, this doesn't feel like it's an end, because she motioned for her friend to continue, that seems
It's
like.
just more conversation.
Right.
Yeah, that seems like that's not even. the-
It seems like you chop the chapter right here, which is a technique, which you can do if you're wanting to build a cliffhanger, but you need to be less obvious.
Well,
I
and
think
there's
that
not
you
much
do
of a
that.
cliffhanger, which is
Yeah, continue.
conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no one in danger, there's no new problem,
Yes.
it's
It's
just,
not somebody's
do
drowning.
you wanna
and
go
are
back
they
and
gonna survive or
reminisce? I
Yeah.
mean, do you wanna go back and reminisce? Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
okay, tomorrow I will, or maybe next week, so I'll put this here by my bedside, and when I feel like reminiscing, I'll pick it up and read it, which might be never, so,
It's like
Yeah.
you said,
More
no
tension.
tension, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more
I agree.
tension.
I agree. You need to know what happens next, you know, for that end of the chapter. So.
right.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so are we ready to judge it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay.
that's what we've been doing all this time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Listen.
I will start, I'm gonna give it a right, for what you said. I am just not compelled to move forward. It's a stopping point for me. I really don't care about them continuing the conversation, because nothing within the conversation has sparked my interest and has left me needing to know more about what's going on with it. So, yeah, it's gonna be a right for me.
And okay, and I feel like we've come off so harsh and so critical on this one. I'm sorry. And part of the problem is there's just more added confusion when you are doing it this way, where it's
Right.
but it still is. It's so important that writers get that chapter ending, especially on the first one, right. Because it shows you that you're in the hands of a skilled author if they're ending those chapters where you have to turn it. And nonfiction, First Conspiracy, made me think of you. It's nonfiction, it's about George Washington. We know how the revolution turned out, but yet every single chapter ended on this sort of cliffhanger ending. It was
So, just to be clear, Janette isn't saying that I'm as old as George Washington. What she's saying is he recently read my memoir, and I use the cliffhanger technique on the memoir to compel my readers.
Personally knew George Washington. That's
In
what
fact,
I'm
we're
saying.
still hanging on edge trying to
Somebody's
figure
a
out how Randy's
vampire.
life is gonna end. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, anyway, but yes, so that's just to show you that even in nonfiction, it can be used really to the
Effective.
author's, advantage. So I'm gonna give this a rate, because I think it needs work. I think we've got an interesting situation here. It seems very,
Dystopian.
Yeah,
But also I feel like this isn't even grounded in our world, because she
yeah,
said lavender,
rainbow.
rainbow.
It's
So
almost like
so
she's
it's
in heaven about to
interesting.
go back.
Yeah, it's
so
very
that's,
interesting.
so it's interesting, but yes, I feel like, we make it so there's no head hopping, that we're deeply in one person's point of view. Some of the sentence fragments, I think, work really well, but I felt like the whole thing had too many, and then that was giving it more of a choppy feel. And then, that ending needs to be on some sort of, something really filled with tension, that you're like, what's gonna happen now? And you turn the page, so.
Okay.
I agree. I'm also giving it a right for all those reasons. I don't want to be redundant, so but I agree with everything that everybody has said, and good luck. I mean, I do want to say I do find this fascinating, this world. So once you clean those things up, I think it's going to be really great, and I'd love to see more of the world building, because it sounds very interesting. So.
You want employers cursing your name because their employees are up at 2 a.m. reading your book instead of getting a good night's rest so they could work the next day. That's what you want. You want spouses cursing because their spouse is reading in bed with the light on and they can't put the book down. And this doesn't do that because of low tension. So I will give it a right as well.
Okay, so there you have it. Do you feel we're right? Would you continue on to the next chapter based on how this one ends? Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you haven't already, subscribe. So do that right now. Just
Whoever this author was, they just unsubscribed from us, I feel like. I'm sorry, author. We really want what's best for you. It's tough love. We all go through it.
Yes.
yes.
We're a little bit more bitter and cynical because of it. Yes, that's true, but better writers also.
But we do this to one another
Yeah.
when we share
Yes.
and we work with one
I'm
another,
getting-
we get these comments.
That's why our shows have such high tension. We can't stand each other. We keep working.
I'm getting ready to hopefully send Janette a new one pretty soon here that she's going to mark up all in red. Yep.
Yep, and
Number 6.
I'm sending one to Torsha. She's been
Yeah.
telling me to kill off a character for 4 bucks.
I've been telling
And you haven't
for years
listened.
to kill
See?
characters off.
You want tension? Come watch this show be recorded.
All right, so until next time, get ready.
Get set.
Right.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And don't forget that we have a new sponsor this year. Our friend Ben Grange with Writers Clearinghouse is offering all the prize support for this year. And the winner each month will get a first 10-page manuscript evaluation for free.
Yep, and then the winner of the full year is going to get a full manuscript critique
Wow.
from agents and editors, guys. These are top guys.
That have worked in the industry and really know their stuff. I mean, that's big. Okay, and then you can find out more about Ben Grange and the Writers Clearinghouse at www.writersch, as in clearinghouse, writersclearinghouse.com.